Good evening and welcome to the Grand Finals Drawing Show. I am Lauren Scott, your host for the evening, and of course, joined by my usual partner in crime, Oliver Maxfield, who's going to be my co-host throughout all of this, giving you all the details, the background, and every bit of juicy gossip we have lined up for you while we take the teams and put them into the groups towards the Grand Finals. Now, it's not just us two this time. We have our Wargaming representative here. It's Alexei, the head of esports in the CIS region, being our beautiful assistant, taking the names out, putting them in the cups, and joining us here to make sure it is all above board and everything is fair. So, we're going to be going into the first stage of this, which is putting the people in the first place seeds into the groups. So your big teams, the teams that came first in their region, the teams that have dominated the rest of the world. So let's start off. Alexei, please take us through the first choice here, and they'll be placed into Cup A. So, Ollie, what sort of teams do we have in this? There's a good few here, obviously a lot of well-known names.
Sure. So as you mentioned, this is for the first seed teams, so they don't kind of face each other up in the group stages of the finals in day one. So it's going to be Na'Vi, of course, from the CIS region, School Bus from the EU region, Elevate and Arete from NA and APAC equally. It's going to be School Bus seed
in
number
A.
one
Yes.
from the European region in A. So a big name, came second in the recent season finals in Sofia, Bulgaria. And something I would definitely avoid going into this.
Yeah, a lot of teams now not wanting Group A, but the next one will be placed into Group B, and School Bus will be A1, if that's how you want to look at it. That's the best way to describe. So now we need B1 to follow, and there's a good few other teams that a lot of people will want to avoid. You already mentioned most of their names, but here we go.
Arete.
So it's going to be
here.
Arete from the APAC region, seed number one, of course beating Elong, now EL Gaming, in the finals. And an extremely strong team, came 7th in the recent grand finals going into
Correct.
B1. So also a team you want to be avoiding because they have that ability to perform at these big events.
Yeah, I remember speaking to them after the last grand finals, highly frustrated, even though they did quite well. Looking forward to see how they've improved during the gap. So let's find out C1. There's one name I know a lot of people want to avoid, and I wonder if it's going to be next. Alexei, what do we have here?
Na'Vi.
There's that name. A lot of teams are now wanting to avoid C1, I think.
Yeah, C group is going to be one which everyone wants to avoid suddenly. Of course, the 2014, the grand finals winners, an amazing team. They recently just won the WGRU in CIS, which happened in Minsk, and just about, I have to say, it was pretty close. They were a little bit shaky, but they're such a good team.
And of course, with only so many teams in first place seeding positions, we kind of know the final position in D1. However, to prove that it is all fair and above board, there is our final team put into Group D, position 1. Elevate Black.
So maybe not a team everyone's heard of a lot. They were at Rumble in the West, if you remember, in Poznan, Poland. They didn't do so well there. They actually came 4th, but they had that experience. But they went into the recent Season 5 of the WGNLA and came 1st. So they're definitely on a high at this point, and I think if they do enough training, they can certainly perform.
Well, I look forward to that. However, now we have all our teams in the first place positions spread throughout the groups A, B, C, and D. We now need to find the teams who are going to join them, and that's from Seeding Cup 2. So take us through how this works, who's going to be there, because the format is slightly different.
Yeah, we basically just want to compound a little bit of randomness. So what we do is we take a team and we match it to a position in each group. So
Yes,
we
little
take
Belarusian random.
exactly. I mean, we just want to add a little bit of randomness, so it makes it a little bit more fair. So we take a team and we match it with a position in the group. It's very simple.
So this team will be going into Group A. So they'll be joining School Bus. However, we're not sure in which position. That will be picked second. So School Bus, a big name to come up against. Always done well at these offline events, regardless of whether they were home or away or a kind of out there event. Let's find out who will be placed there. Obviously, we'll go into what could happen if there's region clashes.
And it would be roulette.
So
second seed from the North American region, also known as #RU, Season 4 champions. Definitely good, but a lot of roster changes.
we'd still need to find a position they'll be placed in for Group A, so we need to pull that one out. There's only 2 available. However, it does define which matchup you get, so it does make a big difference here. Even though it's that element of random, it's a good element of random. It's good RNG. So let's find out what slot they'll be placing in towards Group A. School Bus, the only confirmed team so far there. So, what position will they be put in towards?
It will be position 3.
A 3 will be there for Roulette. What do we make of that? Does that define much so far?
Well, they get to avoid School Bus in that first game. Obviously, if they were A2, then they will be fighting in the kind of round robin we'll be having in the first day School Bus. But they don't, so it doesn't tell us a lot until we know what the A2 is. But I think they can be pretty happy at the start here.
So continuing forward, we'll find out that final team in Group A in a moment's time. We're moving on to Group B now from Cup 2. So we continue forward. They will be joining Arete. So, looking forward to this one. We'll also find their position in a moment. However, let's see who we've got. Some big names in seeding Group 2, or Cup 2, should I say. Not exactly light for talent, so a lot of teams to look out for, and I think we've got it.
One of the best CS teams, Hellraisers.
Now, that's a big name for Group B.
A huge name, and despite the fact that they came third in the recent Season 3 finals, they're one of those teams that are just so passionate and so competitive that they can do very well. I mean, of course, they won the previous season, and you know, previously known as Unity, they came third in the last grand finals. A little bit of roster changes here and there, but you have to be scared of them.
Oh, I can imagine so, and we'll be finding out their position within Group B in a moment's time. As you can see, it's all fair. We are making sure you can see everything we're doing, and we'll be finding out where they'll be placed. So far, we've only got really
B2.
B2.
So it's position number 2.
So they get to play Arete, team number 1 from
game.
APAC first. That's going to be a tough game for
both teams.
To be fair, both have a lot of experience, but I think Hellraiser should nudge ahead there.
I kind of agree with you. Hellraiser's a very big name. I know Arete like to try and keep eyes on the opponents. They looked at the Russian region, the CIS region, a hell of a lot for inspiration, so interesting there. Moving on, we now come in towards Group C's second team. So far, we have Na'Vi. Who is going to be put into the lion's den? Let's find out. It's a terrifying group, there's no doubting that. But Na'Vi holding place in first now. Who will be joining them? If there's a region clash, we will look into that in a moment.
EL Gaming.
Ah, so now that's an interesting matchup if they do go head-to-head. Not an unknown team, but certainly something that could cause surprises down the line.
Yeah, they're a very strong team. We did see them feature in the 2014 Grand Finals under a different name. It was, of course, Energy Pacemaker. Didn't have the best outing, came 9th out of 12 teams, but they have that experience, and they looked very strong in the APAC region. As I said, narrowly being bested by Arete.
So let's find out which position they'll be put into in Group C. Do they face Na'Vi first, or do they get a little bit of a respite for another opponent? Let's find out any second now. I can imagine they are desperately wanting to avoid Na'Vi. Oh.
No.
There's
Position
no avoiding
number 2.
Na'Vi. C2. So that is a big matchup and a harsh game to begin with. I don't know how I'd feel going into that, knowing that your fate's almost sealed here. Alexi, what do you make of Na'Vi's play so far? You've probably seen a little bit of these guys on the go. What do you think of them? Hard opponent here?
I think Na'Vi, like, as current champions, they really have great game techniques, but the old-fashioned.
Okay,
like
so maybe someone
742.
Okay.
That, like, V-Play showed in CS region how they can be beat. So
wow, that could change things. That's a little bit of a difference there. Maybe there's a chink in the armor that could be found. We'll have to wait and see. That's a tough time. But moving on to Group D now. So we need to find our final team out of Cup 2 to be placed there. We know roughly who it could be.
yeah, it's Virtus Pro.
Another big team going to be placed into Group D there. And Virtus Pro, another kind of Na'Vi, I almost feel. I'm sure you can expand on that. They seem very stuck in their old ways at times, but still so good at it.
Yeah, that's the problem with Virtus Pro and all these big teams, that they kind of train together, and I think they get stuck in the old way of doing things, but they're
learning.
Second team. Yeah, they're learning very quickly, but second from last season's Grand Finals 2014. Very good team. Unfortunately came third, which is their worst result in the WGLU in Bulgaria's Sofia, but hopefully they can do better here.
Well, there's their position.
Yes, and they will start to play from the second position.
Against Elevate Black. So
Yes.
facing them against an NA team to begin with here. I know that we've sometimes said Virtus Pro overlook opponents at times. They get a little bit too hasty. Do you reckon that could be the case possibly, or do you think they're prepared this time?
Well, I hope they've learned their lesson after 5 seasons of WGLU, because, as you said, they got absolutely trounced by Kaz and crew, and if they don't make that mistake, they should be able to elevate black in that first match.
Now going into our final seeding cup here, which is seeding cup 3, there's a possibility of regional clashes. Do you want to explain very briefly what happens if we do get a region clash here?
Sure. So basically the idea behind stopping region clashes is that we don't have teams from the same region playing in that group stage day one.
You don't want them going
We don't want them going ahead, because we've seen that in the season finals. It's not healthy. It's not good to see. So what we do is we simply move them into the next group along, or the closest group, without a team from their own region.
So.
Yeah, and still we don't have any.
Ah, the gods are with
clash.
us. Team Yato.
Team Yato.
Going into Group A, so they'll be in A2 slot there. We know the slots they'll be in. We will draw it to prove that these are all in place. However, it is known now, so they're going to be facing School Bus first of all. That's a very big opponent.
A huge opponent, and the good thing for Yato is that School Bus can't really theory craft against them, because they're in the Chinese region. There's not a lot of information. They had a little inkling from MCG where Yato came forth and the reason why they are seeded #1 in the Chinese region.
And also, there we go, just to confirm.
Yeah, just proven.
A2, thank you very much. And, well, there's looking at these groups taking form, I'm liking them so far. There's no group of death, essentially, but there's still a chance of it, because this group does have the wild cards. It has a lot of talent in here. What team are you looking at? Because we're drawing into Group B now.
So I think, for me, I want to see what Reform Game can do from the Chinese region, excuse me, and how they can kind of play into that, because they're a team which no one knows about, and I kind of like that dark horse element.
Oh, there's always Kaz and the crew as well, bearing in mind.
True.
Those guys, that's a massive name in this group.
Kaz and the crew and WePlay are both equally amazing teams. They've both shown the old dogs new tricks.
Well, and this is Kazna crew.
Kazna.
You were speaking about
in
Kazna
Group
crew.
B. And they're in the group with Hellraisers and Arite. That, I don't want to say it, it's not the group of death yet, but that's certainly looking extraordinarily tough. Hellraisers and Kazna in one group.
I mean, amazing stuff. Both Hellraisers and Kazna, I think, are pretty close. Everyone's going to be saying, okay, Ollie, Hellraisers got all these results. Kazna crew have been to all these finals, but never quite got those results. But I think Kazna proved us wrong, and with enough training, it's going to give us some of the best matches, that group, I think.
And to confirm, position B3. So far it's working out. Everything's going in the right place, and that's making me feel damn good about this. And now Group C. We've got Na'Vi, EL Gaming. Who's going to be joining them?
Well, if it's WePlay, it's going to be like Group B. It's going to be amazing to watch, but I kind of want to see how that goes into day 2. Of course, the first and second from each group go into day 2. We basically want to halve the number of teams. So,
Reform Gaming, and we've got regional clash.
So,
right?
Reform Gaming and EL Gaming. Would that be a regional clash?
It's actually not a regional clash. I mean, like, to be fair, it kind of is, because both are Chinese teams, but EL Gaming actually moved from the Chinese region into the Asia region.
Ah, okay.
So all good. We're still good with the...
We've made it all the way through
with
here.
the non-regional clashes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Some question if EL Gaming should have stayed in the Chinese region and fought there. So you have to see, but they're both Chinese nationals, and to be fair, I think EL Gaming might be able to tip the boat a little bit as a better Chinese team.
It's going to be a great clash, though. Two teams from essentially the same region, but not. It's almost when you see your Na'Vis playing your Virtus Pros, but that's going to be good. So, to confirm once again, everything is going correctly. C3 is where they are placed, and as you can see, it is correct. They are into that final position in Group C. And now, Group D, our final group, the final team. And this is beautiful. Look at this stack already. I think I know my favorite group coming out from this choice here. Just because I like seeing Virtus Pro being challenged, and they certainly don't have an easy group. If the team that I see coming out is going to be the one indeed. Ollie.
Ooh. So we have WePlay, Santa Claus, and 6 Deers going into the final slot of the final group, which is, of course, D. One of the better groups. I think Group B and Group D could be said as the hardest groups in this first day. So what can I say about that? I mean, it's going to be a toss-up between if Virtus Pro is one of the oldest teams can beat the new kids on the block, essentially.
I'm so excited now. There was always the chance you'd get stacked groups and things like that, but we've had a fantastic drawing, and to confirm the final piece of paper, D3. So, thank you very much. You've done a marvelous job. We need to get him here more. Wow, he's been a bit of a talented man. He's drawn perfectly. Thank you very much.
I think that
it's better than Zinedine Zidane. I must say.
We've got really balanced groups.
Yes.
Where like our somehow underdogs will try to beat our current champions, seasonal champions, and we'll have really dynamic, action-filled battles, and it's like I'm really excited.
It's perfect.
I'm really excited and would like to watch it right now.
So let's take an overview before I get too excited and forget to do it. Let's look at these groups next to each other. All the teams are now in place. And my God, this is going to be brilliant. So here we go. These are our final groups to take you through it. Group A, School Bus in first place here, coming in as the top seed. Then Team Yato with Roulette finishing up there. Now that's a pretty beautiful group to start off with. It doesn't look as formidable as the others, but I can see there's danger there for School Bus.
The thing is about that group is that last year's grand final saw School Bus in one of the hardest groups and actually them kicked out the group stage, where of course you remember that that 1v1 against Elian and Povel. So School Bus might have got a little bit of reference stance here where they're not fighting easy teams, but they're fighting the teams which they just on paper should be able to beat. Roulette, second seed from the North American region, and Yato, of course, first seed from the Chinese region.
And Group B, Arate, Hellraisers, and Kazna. Now, you could argue between maybe Group B and D of the Group of Death. I think this certainly has elements that could lend to a tough group for every single team.
I 100% agree with you. You've got to remember Kazna was one away from not being a wild card and being drawn on points for Virtus Pro as the second seed team in Europe. Hellraisers, I mean, Alexei, they've just been amazing. I think they had a disappointing Season 3 finals, but they're still a very strong team.
Yeah, Season 3 was like really disappointing for like both for Navi and Hellraisers, and like what we play showed to all of us is that sometimes dreams come true, and they showed really cool, interesting tactics that will be used by different teams who think that right now they are underdogs.
See, and I think you've brought up a really good point then, is that a lot of these teams do have very unique styles, and in the new game mode, we've seen it even in the EU region, that teams that you may have completely written out in the old format can now come in with fresh, new ideas and completely destroy teams. And I think Na'Vi has a little bit of a group of that at times. Virtus Pro especially has that in there, and there's elements of if they take it too lightly, if they don't prepare as best they can, I think we could see a lot of upsets in these groups coming out from regions that you would not expect beating the other.
I 100% agree with you. Here's the simple thing. The teams from the old guard basically just fought against each other, and that's why they all got good. Now we have a situation where it's a free-for-all, and all the teams outside of the old guard are fighting together. They're trying new things. They're seeing things that work. An example would be Kazna in the season finals. We play using the T54 lightweights instead of the 251. It works, and that's why they won.
There's going to be so many elements coming into this that is going to make this grand finals absolutely phenomenal. But let's get the closing thoughts here, as we are going to wrap the show up, as we do have the groups now set. Alexei, is there any sort of surprises, anything you can tease us with going forward, looking at the grand finals, or any closing statements?
Okay, watch grand finals, participate in league, and like let's wait for 9.7 update. We'll have esports 1.1, and there will be really cool update. So watch, participate.
That's a lot of information to take in. There's a lot of good stuff coming up from Wargaming themselves. You've heard it there. Esports is certainly looking at the forefront of their minds. Your final thoughts towards this one, because I can see you looking excited already for this.
I mean, it's been the most perfect seeding we could have got. No regional clashes, so literally all the teams have gone into as even as groups as we possibly could hope for. I mean, I'm really looking forward to 9.7. I'm really looking forward to unveiling all the features and all the cool things we've got planned for, of course, the Grand Finals 2015.
Well, ladies and gents, I think we've had sentiments from everyone on the desk. Thank you for joining us, of course. I look forward to seeing you again, hopefully, towards the grand finals. However, for you guys at home, if you want more information, if you want to look at the teams, look at the dates, look at the times, head over to the wgleague.net. All information is available there. And guys, I think the only thing we have to say now is, well, get ready for the 25th to the 26th of April, because this is going to be astounding. The grand finals groups have been drawn. Hopefully, we see you then.